are companies whose very job is to entice you to buy their things. So when you see a picture of them or you see a lifestyle being portrayed in a certain way that includes these things, you're going to want them because that's what they're designed to do, is make you want them. Hi everybody, today is Sunday, April 7th. It is day 7 of Plan As You Go, where I show how I use my Erin Condren horizontal, my bullet journal, and my power sheets in tandem for an entire month. It is Sunday afternoon. I actually did not touch my planners this morning. I gave a sermon today. We got an announcement at my church about the new minister that our search committee has found to start in the fall, which is exciting. I had 2 meetings and my back and my kidneys really hurt, so I did not do much this morning, but what I am going to do is get my planner set up for the week. I actually want to use this little spot for memory keeping, since all I plan to do after I'm done filming this video is take a load off and lay down and watch some TV or something and maybe make dinner. The meal plan is all different. This is like we made this. Cauliflower gnocchi is probably going to be tonight, and this is probably going to be later this week. And a meal from later in the week got moved to yesterday. I want to put like a little memory keeping situation here to kind of mark that, that today we found out who our new minister is going to be, which was very exciting. It has been a process, let me tell you. I'm actually grabbing a couple of celebratory ones from off of a couple of different samplers. I'm going to put them here and letter in that we got our new minister. I got to truncate my sermon a little bit so that we'd have room for a surprise announcement at the end of the service, and we use Zoom to bring up on the big screen our minister in live to introduce herself to us, and it was awesome. It was really awesome. And that, I think, will wrap my week up, except for my blood pressure. So, yay! Let's get to next week. This is the week of the 8th through the week of the 14th. Thankfully, no sermons this week, but this is the week of taxes because they are due on the 15th, so they have to get done. And Jesse was like, "Did you get this stuff together?" I was like, No, I didn't. No. Next week. That's this week. So that's what we're working on. I'm actually going to use the new Simply Gilded kit. I am excited that the stickers are on different paper now, because that was the one thing I wasn't a big fan of, was the thick paper. But I love the colors. This like kind of like plaid situation and the little like flowers or whatever and the pinks. There's some beautiful silver washi tape that came with this kit too, but the foil on the stickers is gold, so I'm not going to put any of the silver foil in. I'm going to start with these guys. I am going to find why this hair is on my desk. There's many things I'm going to do. I really love these colors. I kind of want to do the same thing again, and I know I have a gold of some sort April situation in one of my books. So I think I want to do the same thing and cover up the top parts. I think that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to start with. I'm also not going to answer questions today. I keep telling you I'm going to answer more questions, but this weekend has been hard on me and I don't have enough brain power. I'm probably going to ramble. Maybe I'll answer questions. I'm not sure, but I will not be taking new questions until the next Plan As You Go video. I apologize for that. You guys, this weekend has hit me like a shit ton of bricks, and hopefully tomorrow, once the sermon is out of the way and I could start moving forward with some things, I will be able to breathe a little bit more. That would be lovely. But I'm going to start by covering all of this up so I can put the washi tape down. You know what? Fuck it. I am going to answer some questions. I'm sitting here washi taping thinking, I wonder what I'm going to chat about. And then I'm like, I don't know what I want to chat about. Well, wouldn't it be nice if somebody like just told you something that you could talk about? And then I was like, oh wait, aren't there questions on my desktop? Yes, there are. God, Cindy, really fucking really? The funny thing is I'm plugging my mouse in. Whoa. Plugging my mouse in while I'm doing this because it's dying. And so I need to unplug it so I can look at these questions. The first question I'm going to talk about, though, is from Sherry, who said, you advise not to buy a lot of shit, and I completely agree with that, but I really need help with FOMO. I see shops releasing new shit all the time, and I go, oh, this is cute. I need this now. I know I need to control this urge, but I honestly don't know how to. I need help. It's a constant vicious cycle of that impulsive shopping, and the weird thing is I am not an impulse buyer in my routine life. And she got some great advice on that video, by the way. If you go back to that video, it was a few days ago. She got some wonderful advice from people. The advice I'm going to give you is, I hate when that happens. One of the things you need to remember is that it is so easy to get caught up in all of the things, because the nature of social media, the nature of the internet, is that we see all of these things that other people have that we might want constantly. It's never ending. And on top of that, there's all of the marketing. You know, there are companies whose very job is to entice you to buy their things. So when you see a picture of them, or you see a lifestyle being portrayed in a certain way that includes these things, you're going to want them, because that's what they're designed to do, is make you want them. Just kind of layering these. I wanted the blue to be kind of first and foremost. I could have put one of the pinks down, but I didn't really want that much pink up here. I wanted to keep it soft. Sorry, I really love these colors. They're so soft. Anyway, so that's what they're trying to do. Okay? Now, I'm not faulting influencer type people for trying to influence us, because that's their job. I'm not faulting marketing people for trying to sell to us, because that's their job. What you need to remember, though, is that is their job. Whether you need to put it on your phone background or on your computer or somewhere, something that says the internet is trying to sell to you. The internet is trying to sell to you. Because if you remember that, then it may cause you to take a second look at all of the things that you see that are so cute that you decide you need this right now. Because I will tell you, you probably don't need it right now. You probably don't need any shit. You probably have plenty of shit. You know, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I can make an educated guess and say that you have plenty of shit already. And so you don't need anything right now. Doesn't mean you don't want something right now. It just means that it's not something you need right now. God, I love that. That is so cute. I need this right now. God, now this is where I'm contributing to it. I'm not trying to sell you anything right now, by the way. I'm just saying. But by using all of this, it may be influencing you to want to buy something. It's hard to say no to that, but my suggestion is, if you see something and it's limited edition and you say you need it right now, look at everything you already have, and if you've got something that's even similar to that, maybe you don't need it right now. That's how I've been able to avoid buying all of the super limited edition washi tapes and stuff, because to me the pain in the ass of getting them is not worth getting the new washi tape when I already have so much washi tape I already like. Now, if it's not limited edition, if it's something that's in the shop or in the store or whatever, give yourself a month, maybe 2 months. Say, I will buy this for myself in a month if I still want it. And then maybe by the end of the month, you don't want it anymore. And if you do, then maybe it's something you actually do want. That's some advice. The biggest advice I need to tell you, though, is just to remember the amount of lust you have for something is always going to be heightened by the fact that the internet is geared to make you want to lust for something. All right? I hope that helps. All right, I'm busting out the Happy Planner Doodle book because I'm pretty sure there are some... There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Has April been used yet? Nope. Yeah, exactly what I wanted. Look at that. All right, there's date covers that came with this sticker kit. So let's lay them down. Do I want to lay them down the number? Or do I want to put a number cover down too, since I've got those gold ones in here? I'm just muttering to myself, you guys. I'm thinking out loud. Thinking out loud. Nah, those numbers aren't doing it for me. Let's move on to the next question, which is from Janie, who said, how long did it take to feel fully absorbed in this planner world and this self-employed lifestyle? I think it's a leap I often romanticize, knowing I could never jump myself, and maybe some real world would snap me back to reality. I consider you to be successful, and it truly seems you're doing what you love. How did you manage to get from point A to here, I suppose is my question, and what are some challenges you overcame on the way? All right, first and foremost, this is going to be a podcast at some point, I think. Janie, I'm going to save your comment and I'm going to use it again to put off the podcast, because I feel like whatever answer I can give here is not going to be as rambly and detailed as I would want it to be, and I have more room on the podcast. Secondly, I will totally give you at least some answer here. The fully absorbed into this planner world, maybe like separating that from the self-employed situation. By the way, these stickers are much more comfortable to lay down. I don't know if they're removable. I feel like they could be removable, but I'm not gonna test it yet. Maybe we'll find out if I screw up. They just are not as opaque as the big thick ones, which I'm totally fine sacrificing. The only time I ever cover something up really with a sticker on the regular are date covers. Most of the time I don't bother, but if I do, I'll just have to keep in mind I might want to white it out first. You can also see some of the bleed through from me over fine lining last week. took me a while to feel fully absorbed. I joined the planner community in the spring of whatever year it was, 2013, 2012, whatever year it fucking was. I joined in the spring and didn't really say anything up until the fall. Mostly because I didn't feel like anything I was doing looked or felt like anything other people were doing. You know, other people seemed to like already have been using their planners for like a year or two. They were super into the stickers. They, you know, just all this stuff. And I didn't feel so crooked. God damn it. This happens when I try and talk. It's fine. I'm also nursing this right now. I'm just saying. I'm not doing a live plan with me, but it's been a long day, which is maybe not the best excuse to have a drink, but this only has like 1% alcohol, so that might be a slight under-exaggeration. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make, is that I did not start talking until much later, partly because of the founding of PGW, or Erin Condren Fans Gone Wild as it was at the time, because I swear to God, I didn't think I could cuss in any of like the We Love EC type groups. People just seemed to, even if you were allowed to cuss, people frowned on it, and I don't like it when people frown at me. It makes me sad. So that took a while. I started talking, I started getting to know people, I started making some friends, and that caused me to just get more and more loud, because my natural state is loud, so I just had to find a time and a place to get loud. So it probably took me a good 6 months to really warm up, maybe another year after that before I super felt comfortable. As for the working situation, so I've told pieces of my story, and I will tell more of it on the podcast, but suffice it to say, I did not do the responsible thing when I started working for myself. I had been building an audience on YouTube and Instagram and so on and so forth for quite some time. And I had started a Patreon that had gotten a lot more a lot more successful than I had anticipated it being. But the reason I started working for myself was in large part because I was upset with my job. Not the best reason in the world to work for yourself. Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't work for yourself. It just means that you might want to have more income socked away. You might want to have more savings before you make that kind of a leap. I didn't, because I was fed up. We also wound up going into the process of buying a house that same month, which is not something I recommend when you have just quit your job. So there is that. But I will tell you, I do love what I do. And I think this year, every year, I feel better about it. You know, each year there is some level of insecurity of feeling like maybe I'm not going to make enough money to feed my family or whatever, or somebody's going to find out that I actually suck. And sooner or later, they're all going to know. But each year I've gotten a little bit more confident. And I still always worry that, you know, it's the life of living like freelance or being self-employed, is that you're always going to have some amount of worry about whether or not you're going to bring in enough money to feed your kids. It's not that I've stopped worrying about that. It's that I've gotten better at coping with it. I will say, though, I work harder now than I ever worked for an employer. And I loved my job when I worked. The 20 years I worked in grocery stores, 90% of the time, I loved my job. And I worked my ass off. I'm a fantastic employee. But I have had to work my ass off so much harder working for myself because A, I have to do all the things, and B, it's unrelenting. Like, you have to constantly be doing more because it's not like you have a company backing you up when you take a vacation day. Setting boundaries and spending time, like, really thinking about, you know, how I want my life to look like and what I need to do to get there, all these things. It's just, there's a lot happening, and it requires a lot of thought and a lot of forward thinking, and it's not something to romanticize. A lot of people romanticize working for yourself. I would make the suggestion that it's good for some people, other people maybe not. And if you are not somebody who is okay being worried that you might not feed your kids 1 month, then it may not be the thing for you. You know, not everybody needs to hustle and work for themselves. Matter of fact, I'm filming this on Sunday, but it'll be going live on Monday. And if you haven't yet, I recommend you listen to the podcast that went live today with Emily McDowell. I interviewed her. She basically said the same thing. It's that, you know, there's this this thing that's going down on social media where like this, like the glory of the side hustle. You want to be a wage slave, which is a terrible phrase to begin with. Or would you rather work for yourself, side hustle, turn it into your full-time hustle, girl boss, blah, blah, blah. And that's great for some people, but for some people it's not. And that's okay. I don't think this is necessarily answering your question, but for me, how I got here was that I started doing things as a hobby. I started making videos because I wanted to and because it was a hobby, and then it developed into something more. And then when I got fed up at my job, I quit, and I had already built this thing that I wasn't trying to build as a business. It just happened to sort of be in that direction, and I was able to use that to quit my job. But it wasn't on purpose. I didn't have a design for it when I set out. I will be doing a more in-depth podcast about this to really kind of go through the process of how it happened, but ultimately I kind of fell into it. It's both awesomer than I thought it would be and a lot harder than I thought it would be. I will say some of the challenges, I've kind of touched on them. I'm going to start putting my weather in and my meals while I'm talking about this. Some of the challenges that I've faced along the way, and I've talked about these before, and I will keep talking about them. A big challenge for me is boundaries and setting boundaries and not allowing the work that, like, I could feasibly work 24/7. I could. There's that much to do, and it could, but I can't because I have children and I have a husband and I have other priorities and other things going on in my life. And some people are cool with living that kind of a life, and I'm not. Like, I'm sick. I have chronic illness, and like my energy is limited, and if I have to spend all my energy working, there's nothing left for my family, and that doesn't line up with my priorities. The other thing I have a problem with is taking too much on. Take on too much, but I need to set boundaries. I need to say no to more things, but I need to set boundaries. That's a challenge that it's not a challenge I have overcame. It is a challenge I am still working with. I would suggest a challenge I have overcome is getting over this idea of, I haven't really overcome that either. I'm not, gotta really think about this, what challenges I've overcome. I was going to say getting over the fact that I need to be open to people spending money with me or giving money, like people like my patrons or people who buy things or whatever. I still hate talking about it, so maybe I haven't gotten over that yet. I'm not sure what challenges. I'll have to think about this, Janie, but I will tell you, the romanticized version of working for yourself is a facade. It's a wonderful thing. All the things you think might be wonderful about it are wonderful about it. Working in your pajamas, fuck yeah. Yeah, it's great. Being your own boss, awesome. But being your own boss means you also have to be your own boss and boss yourself around, hold yourself accountable, and all of those things are not glamorous. So maybe that answered your question, maybe not. I'm going to stop talking for a few minutes and finish filling this in because I think my brain is melting down and I'm not actually making sense anymore. All right, I'm going to just start putting my appointments in, and then I'm going to check my power sheets to see what I can fit in for the rest of the week. I'll do this later in a bit. But first, let's start with Monday. I have a patron thing. I have an interview for someone's YouTube series, which I will, or maybe Instagram series. I'll let you know more about it once I get some more information. I need to send a email for church, and then just do a bunch of beginning of the week stuff. So I need to get the book club stuff ready to go. Tuesday, I have 2 phone calls in the morning, one at 10, one at 11. I'm just using these little asterisk stickers because, like I have mentioned before, I need to get some more phone icons in a bunch of different colors. Wednesday, I need to finish getting everything together for taxes. There's early release that day. This is a perfect opportunity to pull out one of the Salt Bay Munchkins, just saying. Thursday, I have a phone call at 8. I have an interview for the podcast at 9. I have a patron live at 2, and I need a meal plan. Thursdays have started to become my super overbooked peopling day, which is totally fine. Condense as much peopling as possible, I say, but still, damn, son. Moving to Friday. I have another podcast interview. I need to go grocery shopping. I have a project to do that day, and RJ has a field trip and needs to remember to bring a lunch. Saturday, we need to do our taxes. I also have an interview that morning for another podcast. I'll talk about that when that gets released. And I need to wash my sheets as per usual. All sorts of interviews happening this week. This is partly because I lost the lettering chicken and partly because it's true. Sunday, I have church in the morning, and then I have a hangout. I don't have any meetings at church, though I may skip church on Sunday. I may very well skip church on Sunday. But I do have a hangout with my patrons at 1:30 and then a live plan with me at 2:30 Pacific time. So there will be a live next week, a week from the day I'm filming this, so Sunday. All right, so I layered some stickers here to do the live plan with me. Now, before I get into doing this section, I want to take a few minutes and look at my power sheets and see if there's anything specifically that jumps out at me that I can schedule this next week. And while I'm at it, I can check off the couple of things that I've done. This is happening on Tuesday. I need to put that in. And then this can probably happen on Wednesday, the create receipt system, since I'm going to be going through them anyway. I actually can check off date night. We did that already. Yeah, we did. Asparagus is probably going to have to happen on the weekend because we did that already for this week with the kids. Meal plan's already on here. Family plan time on Monday. And then the spring declutter, what am I going to be looking at? Organize and simplify my computer desktop. That can be a Friday thing. All right, that is everything I think for this week except for this bottom box. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain this motivation right here. I was going to do some bullet journal stuff today too, but I've already been filming for more than an hour and I am exhausted and need to make dinner and spend the rest of the evening, so I will catch up on my bullet journal tomorrow. So a question for you of the day goes back to what Sherry asked about FOMO. How do you deal with it? When you see something that you're like, your first instinct is like, I need it, I need it, I need it. How do you stop yourself from buying it? Some of you have already given some amazing, amazing responses, but I would love to hear some more. Not just how do you avoid feeling FOMO in general, but when something specific gets to you, how do you talk yourself out of it? Or do you? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in tomorrow's Plan As You Go video.